The digestive stuff?
The digestive stuff, ear infection, eye infection.
Oh, is it there in that left one?
What's that?
The ear infection?
What about
Is it in the left ear or is it?
left ear?
Yeah, it looks right. All right, so the digestive stuff, the ear infection, I'm sorry, what else?
Eye infection.
Eye infection. Is all the food related or?
No, it was maybe allergies or her ear got irritated because something got in.
Mm-hmm.
So no,
Okay. How's she doing now?
she's a lot better. Her eyes are better. Her ear isn't as itchy and irritated as it was.
Mm-hmm.
The vet, we had to put her on some new food and put in some like powdered medication.
Okay.
So she doesn't really like that right now. So in the mornings it's kind of tough to get her to eat right now.
Sure.
But I'm hoping she'll get used to it.
But she's on like a special type of like prescription food, right?
Right.
All right. I think the digestive stuff has always been a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this whole ear and eye thing, is that new or?
Yeah, that's pretty new. Last couple of weeks.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it sucks when we get a dog that's sensitive to that degree.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
How's all the obedience stuff is going good?
The what stuff?
The obedience?
Yeah, pretty good. I think the only maybe thing that was concerning was this past week, she peed in the house 2 days in a row, like around the same time in the morning.
Okay.
And it's really unlike her. She knows better. So I don't know if she was just not feeling good that day and didn't want to go outside, or she thinks it's too hot outside, or just giving me the middle finger.
Sure. So, what time was this like before you typically take her to go potty, or did you go out to potty and then when you came back inside and she just peed again?
So we take her out every day like 6 in the morning, and then it was around like 8 that she peed in the house both days before I started work.
Okay. Anything change?
I mean, just the medicine.
Okay. Is she on any kind of steroid?
No.
No.
She's a probiotic.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is.
I think that's a stomach, like a gut thing. Kind of like I think yogurts like have like probiotics, so it's some kind of like healthy bacteria or something like that, if I remember correctly. And what days were this? With the potty mistakes?
I think it was probably Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay, Wednesday, Sunday. When did she start the medication prior to the potty mistakes?
It's probably the previous Thursday, so she had been on it
So
for
almost
like
a week. Yeah. Okay. When she when you brought her in from like the morning walk and stuff, did she drink more water than usual or?
She drinks a lot at night now.
Okay. There's something more recent?
Yeah, probably just because, I don't know. Yeah, she chugs a lot before bed. So I'm thinking she just had big reserves at that point.
Yeah. She I mean, there's a couple of things whenever we get like potty mistakes like that, and it's like out of the ordinary, is looking at changes in diet. Here you got new medication going. It also just recently got hotter, right? So like if there's like an evening walk before bed, she might be trying to cool off and drinking a lot of water there, and then not just completely emptying her bladder when she goes in the morning. That was Wednesday and Thursday. I'd give it another, I'd give it till Thursday, and if you start to see like it's becoming more consistent with her like potting in the home in that morning time, then I would say like then there's something to like, there's cause for concern because it's becoming more of a pattern. Like my dogs, on occasion like might poop. It's super rare, but it happens. Maybe like you said, they didn't completely empty their bowels or whatever. Or if they're just sick and they just have diarrhea and they can't like hold it, like that's just out of their control. But I was just keeping an eye on it until I made like started doing the potty stuff, and then see if it starts to become more prevalent. With the outside stuff, with the obedience stuff, what have you been working on?
We've been going to the park a decent amount, just like recalls. She's really good at that. Her stay is okay. A little bit better on down since the last time we worked on it.
Okay.
But yeah, just trying to sort of piece us all together.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start to blend all these things together to help build up her concept of what each word is. So in the beginning, I always like to start with a few commands: heal, stay, and recall primarily, to start kind of pushing towards off-leash stuff. And then we start to incorporate like the down, the sit, or the place, or whatever. Because then as you start to blend more commands together, the dog is more likely to make mistakes because they're having to think through a number of different options. Okay. So when you work with her, do you primarily work with her outside of the park on the long leash, or do you work with her inside as well?
I'd say it's mostly outside, like
Okay.
on walks or in the park sometimes.
Gotcha.
I try not to shock her too much inside, just because I don't want her to feel bad.
Do you practice any stationary work, like lay down and don't move or anything like that?
Yeah, we do place inside.
You do place? Okay. Have you tried doing any extended, down for an extended period of time?
I think the longest we went was probably like a minute or two.
Oh, okay. So what I would do with the down, because if she has a hard time staying put, it's because she's getting conditioned that when we say down, it's momentary. And she only has to down for like a minute or two at the most. So she's going to think that's where the threshold is. So it's going to be harder for her to hold that position. So then I would recommend that you alternate between the place and the down command. So you're still, you're practicing duration, but you're also getting, because like if you go somewhere, like let's say you forget your placemat or your towel or whatever, and you need her to stay put, but you've not practiced the down for like 20 minutes or whatever, she's going to have a hard time keeping that position. So it's just instead of doing place 2 times a day, I might do place once and then down the other time to get her used to like down is something that you do for a period of time as opposed to a minute.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So whenever we do stuff repeatedly, like down, sit, stay, come, place, all that, we're shaping a better response. So when I say down, boom, she should just like lay down. I don't want down and then like she kind of just takes her sweet time, or she like gets up and walks away and then lays down. I want an immediate response. So that's where repeating all this stuff back to back comes into play, because you're just getting her used to hearing the cue and responding as quickly as possible. Okay?
Sure.
Anything else?
No.
And it sucks because with the down thing, I would incorporate food, but if she's got a sensitive stomach, it kind of takes it off the table. But it's just simply just repetition. So let's see here. Let me have you try doing a couple of downs to see how she does in terms of her response.
Break. She knows I'm gonna say it.
Sure.
Down.
Okay. Gonna break.
Break.
Try doing it down while she's in a standing position.
Down.
Good. And what's your number currently?
49.
Okay, and release.
Break.
We're gonna try 3 more downs from a standing position.
Down.
Good.
Break. Down.
Good. One more.
Break. Down.
She doesn't like laying down. I mean, she's much better though, for sure, from when I last saw her.
Definitely like crawls into it.
Yeah. Okay, so this looks good. All right, so have we done down where like you would down her and walk like a down state? Where you'll totally lay down and step out and move around her?
No.
Okay, so go to release her.
Break.
Have you down her as in the center, so this way you have space, like right there is perfectly fine.
Down.
Good, yeah, that's much better. Okay, so what you're gonna do here is you're gonna step away using the right foot, like you would with the stay. Now, when you move away from her, if she's inclined to follow you, the down is a bit trickier because you can't really pull down to stop her. You'd have to pull up. So if she were to get up to follow you, you would pull up and back away from you. Because you're simply just trying to prevent her from coming to you or moving to your side. So she doesn't think heel. And once you've anchored her away from you, you're not going so much straight up as you're going up and back to keep her from coming in. And if you tap her, you should see her just slide back into the down, and then you would relax your tension and go back to moving away from her. And you're gonna go for a full circle. Okay. So the stay is implied here, so we don't have to say stay. Good. Now here, go ahead and pop her into a sit.
Sit.
Tip, 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 and tap it up. Good. And then here, wait a second, see what she does. Yep, tapping up. Better, okay. Tapping up. Good. Good. Now you're gonna walk around again. She should stay put. Good, back to her side, praise. Good. Good, good job. Good, then you're gonna step away again, she should hold the position. Good, move around, yep. Good, back to her side. Good. Now here you're gonna pop her in the heel, and you're just gonna walk down, pivot around, come back, and center yourself. But instead of doing it down, you would do a stay and step out.
Heel. Stay.
Good. 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 Praise. Good. Down.
Down.
Yep. 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 There she goes. Good. Then you step away again.
Break.
And now here, I'm gonna have you just move freely with her. And as you're moving, you're gonna say the word sit. You might have to pull up just after you say sit to help her kind of put the brakes on.
And then with a tap as well.
Yeah, be ready to tap just in case.
Sit.
There you go, and lightly up. Yep. Good, and then you'll step out, walk around. Yep. Yep. Good. Good. Praise. Oh, yep. Good. again, we're gonna say sit as you're moving.
Sit.
Good. Wait a moment. Yep. Yep. Good. Kind of relax your leash a little bit. Good. You'll just step out.
Do I have to do this stay?
No, so here, because you said sit, right? So sit and down have implied stay. So if you're in a heel, you say stay because she's in an auto sit, right? She's under the heel command. So there, that's why I was changing between the two.
Gotcha.
Because stay is when she's already in the position. So when you're in a heel and she auto sits, she's in a heel command, but she's in a sit position. So there, if you walk forward, she's probably gonna walk with you.
Yep.
So that's why we say stay, because she's already sitting.
Got it.
Here, when you're walking and you say sit, right, because you're not in heel, you're just free moving. When you say sit, it's then, I'm gonna keep moving, even though we're not under command, but you're expected to put your butt down. So it's differentiating between stay, sit, and down. So she's learning in all the different contexts, okay? Go ahead and break.
Break.
Good, and try it again.
She knows the break one. It's her favorite command. Sit.
Better, yep, yep. And step out and around. Good. Down.
Down.
Good. Good phrase. And then you're gonna go into the heel.
Heel.
Good. You're gonna turn to your right and tap. There you go. Good. Tap forward. Good.
Sit.
There you go. So there, you wouldn't say sit. You know why?
Why?
Because you're in heel. So,
Oh, so the first time you weren't heel.
correct. Yeah, you're just
walking.
walking. Exactly.
Okay.
So here, now, so let's say you're in a heel. When you come to a stop, she technically auto sit, right?
Mhm.
But like, let's say you forget or whatever and you say sit. It's nothing good or bad. But now she's no longer in a heel, right? Now she's in the sit command. So here, if you were to walk away, Pepper should not move. Okay? So if you're in a heel, however, and she auto sits and you walk again and you don't say anything, her inclination is to walk with you. Okay? So it's kind of tricky in the beginning, but once you get it, like it's pretty simple. So here, if you came to a stop and like, let's say Pepper forgot to sit down, I would tap her to correct her, okay? So she would still be under the heel command. So if I walk, she should walk with me. But if I said sit, and she puts her butt down, they both do the same thing. If I tap her to get her to sit, and versus I tell her to sit, they both do the same thing. But the difference is, if I said sit, sit means put your butt down and don't move until I give you permission or I give you a new command. So then you have to say heel again to get her to start walking with you, okay? Because you're going from a motionary or motion behavior to a stationary behavior. So with the heel, I'm not sure if we talked about repeating. So like, if you say heel, she walks to your side. At this stage of training, the command is in effect until you give a new command or release, okay? So if I say heel and I walk for like 10 blocks and I come to a stop, she auto sits, and I walk again with my left leg, she's still under heel. I don't have to repeat it, okay?
Right.
Unless I say break, or I say sit, or stay or something. So if I told her stay and I walked away, and then I came back, I'd have to say heel now to tell her this is what we're doing, okay? But if you've said heel and you're on a walk, and you come to a stop at a red light, and she opposites, red light turns green, and you walk forward with your left leg, technically you don't have to repeat the command of heel, because it's still in effect, okay? Now my personal preference is, anytime I go from stationary to motion, I do repeat the command. That's just my preference. I get other clients that don't like repeating it every time, and they'll ask, like, can I just say it when I go from, like, when I start it, and then if I tell the dog break and I have to start it again, can I say it once? And I say yes. Because it's just, once you've cued it, like if you said sit, like right now you told her to sit, right? And she's tried to lay down like twice, and you've corrected her twice. The sit is in effect until you give her a new command or you tell her break, okay? So right now what you're just doing is you're reinforcing, I told you to sit, you're supposed to keep your butt there, okay? So same thing for the heel. If you've cued it once, at this point you don't have to keep repeating it. You can just say it once and just do your walk. In the beginning, I have my clients say it each time because I'm wanting them to get it in the dog's head that when they hear the word heel, it means now we're moving. So we repeat it at the beginning so the dog hears the word multiple times.
Yeah, we still say it every time.
Sure.
Kind of like second nature. No,
Yeah.
You don't really notice it.
Yep. So, and that's, again, that's my preference. Some people just complain, they're like, I always have to say heel, and I'm like, not really. But in the beginning we do because we're trying to teach the human and the dog that heel means now we're going, okay? So now we're going between the different motions of the heel and coming to a stop where she opposites into a stay versus when you're just walking freely, right? And she's not under any command. It looks like heel because she's walking at your left side, but unless you cue the word, it's technically not a heel, okay? So then you're saying the word sit randomly so that she goes from from standing position to a sitting position, okay? And then teaching just her to differentiate between stay is stay in the position you're in, sit is going to this position, and then down goes is going to a laying down position, okay? Go ahead and cue or break.
Break.
Good. And what I'm gonna have you do here is instead of walking side by side with her, is you're gonna kind of walk backwards to Pepper, like this, you know, and you're just gonna kind of make no sense. And then when you're ready, you're gonna cue the word sit as she's moving.
She's weirded out.
You know, walk like this.
Sit.
Yep. Good, and then you'll move around. Good. Give her some praise. And then here, try turning to face her and giving her the down while you stand in front of her.
Down.
Yeah. Using reach hip. 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 Bump your number. You have 49?
Yep.
Try 55. Okay. Yep. And then bump it.
59.
Tip. 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 Bump it.
65.
Tip. There she goes. Good. And then you'll step back and then around. Yeah, there you go. Good. Here you're gonna say break. You're gonna move backwards, and as she's moving towards you, you're gonna say sit again.
Break.
Sit.
Yeah. There she goes. Good. Lightly up. Good. And then back and around. Yep. Good. Yep. Yep. Good. Back. Okay, good. Go ahead and put down.
Down.
Good. And sit again.
Sit.
Good. And you're gonna step out and around. Good. You're going to cue her to a heel. Walk to the center.
Heel.
Tap. Turn to your right. And then move forward, tap. Tap. There she goes. Good. Turn to your right, tap. 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 And relax. Stay.
Stay.
Good. And then around. Good. Down.
Down.
Good. Yep. Yep. Then relax your leash. Good. Go ahead and just like a half circle. Tap. 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 Good. Tap. Tap. Good. Half circle. Tap. 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 That's just close like good. Tap. Tap. You sit down sort of 45. There you go. We went from poor connection to good connection there. Heel forward.
Heel.
Turn to your right. Tap. Tap. Good, relax. Up. Stay.
Stay.
Good. And then try it down again.
Down.
Good. And step away. Tap. Tap. Yep. Tap. Yep. Good. Tap. Good. And then relax tension. Good. And around again. And come in and give her a lot of praise.
Thank you. Yeah. Here's your sponge.
Tap. 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 Bump it.
50.
Bump it.
55.
And step out, around, good. Okay. And pump it. Back. Good. And you try to walk around. Tip. 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 Good. And then around. Tip. Tip. Good. And around again. That was better. She didn't get up completely. Better. Good. Give her some praise.
Good girl. Good. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Good. Yes, keep doing that. Good. Good.
Right. Good. And you go down like 10 levels. You're gonna release her, and then you're gonna do the same thing as you're gonna down her in the middle and try to do a complete walk around.
Should I do a heel or a break?
Either or.
Break.
Tap. Yep. Yep. Good.
So if you can break, we hit the sit first and then do the down.
You can do it down from a stand.
Down.
Yep. That shows. Good. And then release your tension. Good. Then begin to walk around. Good. Come in and praise.
Good.
Yep. Good. Back to praise. Good. Gonna release.
Break.
Good. We'll try one more.
Down.
Praise.
Stay there.
Yep. Good. Praise. Break.
Break.
Good. And then you bring her to the chair over there. And then down right at your feet.
I get the treat. Down.
There she goes, good. Good. So the down is definitely better. Just a little bit of like the back and forth stuff, but much better than what it was before. Her issue, of course, is holding the down when you're walking around. What I liked is that when you were tapping, you had to bump it a few times, but she was repositioning in response to just a remote more often than not. Only a couple times did she like get up and try to come towards you. For the most part, she would stop where she was at and lay back down again, which is good because it makes correcting this easier. Because if the dog's always trying to come to you, well, you got to fix that first before you can fix the actual down part.
Right.
Only issue was just having to bump the collar. Is what's your number currently?
60.
Go to give a tap here. Okay. So that tap was for the whining. Okay, see how she does. So like even though she's in the down position and she's doing what she was told, if she's being barky or whiny, you can actually correct that. Okay. The only thing is it's kind of like place command. If the dog barks someplace and you tap them all the time, they think they'll to jump off, and you have to correct them back into position. Go ahead and tap again. Go ahead and bump it.
65.
Okay, give it a tap. Yeah, that's what it's like. Good. So then here, we bumped it a few levels, we'll see how she does with this. But not uncommon in the beginning when you tap them, it's gonna force her to stand up because she's thinking that she's not supposed to be laying down. So if she pops up, we would just keep tapping her and help her back down, back into the down position. We wouldn't want to repeat the command because we want her to learn that the tap is for the whining, not for laying down. So with this, when you work with her like outside and stuff, you can start adding this in, but with your longer leash. You would start of course closer, doing the down, walking away, doing a circle around her 3 to 4 feet, and then gradually working your way out. If she gets up and moves from like over here to over there, you'd start tapping, walk her back to the general spot, keep tapping until she lays back down, and then step away. Okay. The next thing I'd recommend is alternating between down and place. So like instead of you doing place while you eat dinner, maybe I'll do a down. She'll be at my feet. To get her used to down means lay down and don't move for a period of time. Because right now she's thinking down is momentary. So that can also be why she's getting up, because she's thinking at some point you're going to release her relatively soon. And we want her to learn that that down also means like lay down and don't move until I get to give you permission. And you do the same thing as we did with the place command. You always start close by your feet, stepping on the leash, so it's much easier to correct. Tip. Do a light pull in. Tip. Tip. Like that. Because she started getting sneaky, right? So here, when she started getting sneaky and you tapped her, you said you can't do that. But then she was still kind of stretching out. So you gave her a little bit of direction coming in, saying like, no, you're closer over here, okay? If she would have gotten up, no big deal. You just guide her back to where she's supposed to go. Keep tapping, we don't repeat the command. We just tap until she repositions, and then we take off the pressure, okay? So then she thinks, okay, like, if I'm in a down, I can't army crawl my way, okay? Because she's technically in a down. But so dogs will learn to play with that little kind of gray area where you'll start to see, like my Pit used to do it when she was a puppy. I would tell her to lay down, and then like I would leave the room and come back, and she'll like crawl halfway across the floor, okay?
I'm still down.
Yeah. So I corrected, and then it was nice is that she was going back into a more relaxed position. So part of that whining was her wanting to sneak away and not want to be in the down. So you're correcting that, and eventually she tried to get away from it. You corrected that as well, and now she's more relaxed, and she's also quiet because you just told her like you can try it, but it's not going to work. Okay. Down is meant for an extended period of time, so if you want to use it for like an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, you can do so. You would just start with her at your feet. Okay. Questions about any of that?
So place is just more like directional, like here's a spot to do it.
So place is lenient. Places go to this object, right? Sit, stand, lay down, put a toy, chew on a bone, I don't care, just don't get off of it. Down is more strict, right? So if you told her to lay down, her job is to hold that position or some kind of down-like position. So like if she rolled on her side, if she rolled on her back and put her legs up, I don't care, it's technically still down. I care about does the dog hold it for a period of time. So this doesn't require you to have an object, just you telling her to lay down and don't move, okay? Place command requires an object. You want to avoid telling her place when she's on the mat. So if you said Pepper place and then down, it's no longer a place command. It's a down command, right? It's kind of like with the heel. If you say heel and then you say sit, she's no longer in heel, she's in a sit, okay?
Right.
So the reason why I recommend people not to do that is because they'll send their dog in place, they'll tell them to lay down, and they'll forget that their dog isn't down. So then the dog gets up and they're thinking, oh, the dog's in the place, it's fine if they get up, when really they're breaking the command. So I always tell people to leave them separate, unless you're practicing like a bigger routine, like you're doing sit, stay, place, down, come, or whatever. That's different because you're practicing everything in a short period of time. So if you said place, down, sit, down, break, that's fine, because you're not leaving her there. It's only when people leave the dog that they forget the dog's not down and they think they're in a place. Okay? But you can start adding what we covered today to like your long leash routine to start getting her used to you for her staying put for a longer period of time, and then also you getting at a further distance from her. Okay?
Sure.
Other questions?
No.
So here, I think we covered all the 6 commands, right? Sit, stay, down, come, place, heel.
Yeah.
What I would recommend is one, practicing in different environments. Environments doesn't mean always like location. Environment can also mean weather, okay, and distractions. So like for my longer breed or denser coated dogs, I understand at this point that it can get real hot for them. But I suggest that every now and then you practice in the heat because you want to learn how does Pepper respond when it's really hot, because it's going to be different. So it's kind of like in the wintertime, a lot of people complain that their dog gets spazzy because of the snow. So then I'll just tell them you got to work in the snow now. So when it snows this year with her, you want to practice in that. So you learn how does Pepper respond to e-collar when it's really hot, when she's wet from swimming, when it's cold and in the wintertime it's her perfect weather. If it's raining outside, I suggest that people practice in different kind of weather conditions so they learn how the dog responds. Not uncommon during this time with the heat that the number goes up a lot higher because of the body heat. So like the other day we were working with the dog, and the dog's numbers usually like 25 or 30, and then we were like 85, 90. And the dog was responding like nothing. And the owner was like, this is crazy, why? I said, it's because your dog's really hot. Because the dog's so hot, they're not perceiving the call like they would normally, okay? So you kind of get a feel for it where you're like, okay, it's a really hot day, Pepper's usually like 95 on a hot day. You kind of already know that. As opposed to like when it's cold, maybe her number's only like 35, 40 or whatever, and then she's perfect. So you just exposing her and exposing yourself kind of just gets you used to how she's gonna respond, so you know her that much better. Questions about any of that?
No, that all makes sense.
So I think this is number 10 for you in terms of your process.
That sounds about right.
So we have a couple of choices here. One, you can do 11 and 12, and just finish off the program. Or you can space out 11 and 12 to give yourself time to practice, okay? So what you would do is take all this stuff, take what we learned today, start applying it to the long leash, go out and keep doing what you're doing, okay? In a month, whatever, month and a half, 2 weeks, you have your 11th class, and you're like, hey Jesse, I've gone to the park 20 times since I've seen you, and we had this problem. We work on the problem, you go, spend some time practicing, you come back and you have class 12. So it gives you more time to practice in between, so that you can see where she's having issues, or maybe where you're having issues. Or if you want to try her fully off leash or whatever, we can do that as well. But I would always suggest people to try it on their own first in an enclosed area, depending how they feel about the dog's response to the training.
I mean, we've done it just like in a backyard, no leash. Her recall is still good when she's free, but not in like a super big area. I don't know if I trust her yet.
Completely, yeah, in the unenclosed area or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest, like, at a park where there's a fence around it, or like even in the backyard, just to kind of get a feel for it. But we can do that, like I did that yesterday with a client, it was for the last class, and she had spaced them out. And then, on the last one, she's like, I wanna take off the leash completely. Like, okay, so like, we did it for a couple of like warm-ups, and then she took the leash off, and then she practiced, she's like, oh, wow, my dog's great. I'm like, yep. So all that, it's just personal preference. But that'll give you more time to practice stuff, and then kind of see where Pepper needs help. And then I just come in when you're ready to kind of help address those things. Now, if you want to space out your classes, just be aware that I think now Maria's booking me into July. So if like you wait a month and then you come back, you might have to wait a little bit longer. Okay? If you want to take a break but not have to wait, I would just tell Maria like, hey Maria, we're gonna space out the last 2 classes. Let's, can we book the 11th class a month from now? And she'll look ahead and already put it in the calendar, so this way you don't have to come to a wait. That's just personal preference. If you did wait and then come back and it's a longer wait, it's just more time to practice. Because I've already given you all the information.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just a matter of applying it, making mistakes, and seeing where does Pepper need help.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I think that'll be really good for us to space out.
Okay.
And then we'll probably book in advance just in case.
Yeah. Other questions?
No.
Okay. Well, good job. Much better from the previous weeks with the down stuff. Now it's just more practice and rehearsing, and then we'll see what happens in a month. Okay? Perfect. Awesome.
Break.
You're free, Pepper. Come on in. You're in break.